In this tutorial, I'm going to try and summarize, boil down to an essence, all the things I've learned about teams, things that are the most useful to the folks who are looking at these and hopefully enjoying these videos. To attempt in 5 minutes to summarize what I've learned about teams is similar to trying to portray the Lord of the Rings trilogy or Game of Thrones in a 30-second ad. And I apologize, but what I've hopefully extracted are some really key concepts and a couple of tips for you. So let's get started. First and most importantly, the word team is thrown around so much that it's almost lost its meaning. What I've learned is this: putting a group of people together and calling them a team does not make them a team. A team is more than that. A team is where the whole is more than the individual sum of the parts. It's about synchronicity. It's about people working together collaboratively. And more importantly, it's to get to that point, and many of you will experience this, where the team is so bound that you say one word and everyone else knows the rest of the sentence. You mention something like Project X, and everyone remembers Project X. Years of shared experiences transferred by one word. You start thinking like the other person in some ways. That is the perfect ideal of a team. Many of you, of course, most of you hopefully have that in your family. You know how people are feeling just by looking at them. That is what a team really is, not just a collective of technical experts. So teams are things you invest in. Teams are things that you build. And one of the bonuses of the Agile revolution is the concept of long-lived teams has become fashionable again, as it was when I started in the late 60s, early 70s, where I was in the same team for 7 years. So teams are more than just a group of people. When it comes to looking at what makes a high-performing team different to an average team or just a group of people called a team, there is substantial research on this, and probably my favorite source and the one I'm recommending is a book called Teamwork by Larson and LaFasto. In that book, they studied a variety of high-performing teams from a right range of industries, from building planes to climbing Everest. And what they found in all these high-performing teams was a set of common characteristics. I'll go through them slowly. First is a clear elevating goal. The team was inspired by a big picture, and I've also used the term outcome for this, that they shared and were unified in actually trying to get to. They had a results-driven structure. The way the team was structured was to optimize each person's strengths and to diminish their weaknesses, to complement each other, a results-driven structure. They had competent team members. Everyone on the team was good at what they did, and as I said, match other people's deficiencies, if you will. They balanced each other out. They had unified commitment to the team's long-term outcome, to what they were doing. They were committed to what they were doing, and they were committed to each other. They had a collaborative climate. We'll come back to that next. Everyone talked to each other. They looked after each other. They had standards for excellence. They would not tolerate anything but the best work that each member could do. They supported each other in achieving that. They had great external support. The organization gave them the right resources and the right support emotionally and culturally to do their job. And last but not least, they had principled leadership, a great leader or a great shared leadership. So that was the common set of characteristics across all high-performing teams. The second point, a recent study in Harvard Business Review by Sandy Pentland looked at teams as well, but from a different perspective. He looked at how they communicated with each other. And you wouldn't be surprised, but great teams had a balance of communication. Everyone spoke equally. Everyone listened to each other. There was no one dominating. In other words, it was all about this free flow of information between them, not just up to the boss or the PM, but amongst themselves. But also, Pentland noted that they also looked outside all the time. What can we learn from other teams? What can we learn by going to conferences? In other words, while they're tightly bound, they're constantly looking out to see how they can improve. So those are two big ideas that I found useful. When you look at your team, compare your team against the Larson and LaFasto list. See how they talk to each other. We have some tools which, if you want to contact us, we're happy to share with you, that help you measure that health of the team. So that's the first part.